When dreams turn to ashes, what remains is courage, solidarity, and often the daunting task of starting over. This January, Los Angeles faced one of the darkest chapters in its history: devastating wildfires that consumed entire neighborhoods, leaving destruction and uncertainty in their wake. Yet amidst the flames, stories emerged that remind us of the strength of the human spirit, the impact of climate change, and the urgent need to act before tragedies like this become even more commonplace. Today we dive deep into the details of this disaster, uncover what happened, and, most importantly, reflect on the lessons it leaves behind. It all began in a seemingly ordinary way. A small blaze sparked in the Santa Monica Mountains around 10:30 in the morning. What initially seemed like a manageable issue quickly turned into a nightmare. Strong winds and parched vegetation created the perfect conditions for the fire to spread uncontrollably. By nightfall, the flames had reached Pasadena and the San Fernando Valley, destroying everything in their path. By the following morning, the situation was dire. Over 10,000 buildings destroyed in just 2 days, 13,000 people displaced, and an entire city grappling to understand the scale of the disaster. Firefighters, the true heroes of this tragedy, faced near impossible conditions: water shortages, winds that spread the flames within seconds, and embers reigniting blazes in previously controlled areas. Despite the efforts of more than 15,000 firefighters from across the country, the fire, already the largest in Los Angeles history, was only 8% contained by the end of the second day. In the midst of such widespread destruction, some stories stand out for their bravery and resilience. Sarah, a mother of 5, watched as her home on Vesta Boulevard was reduced to rubble, yet she found the strength to keep going.
I've lost everything, but I still have my family. That's what really matters,
She said, hugging her children tightly. Wendy, another survivor, faced the unimaginable as she fled the flames with her paralyzed son.
In that moment, all I could think about was saving my son. I didn't have time to think about anything else.
She recalled, visibly emotional. Then there's Ray Church, a British plumber, who saw years of hard work vanish in a matter of hours, but he vowed to rebuild his life from the ground up. These stories show that even in the most extreme situations, the human spirit finds ways to endure. Meanwhile, solidarity has swept through the city. Donation centers, organized by volunteers, have become havens for those who've lost everything. Strangers have offered clothing, food, shelter, and most importantly, hope. Amidst the ashes, the best of humanity has shone through. A disaster like this doesn't happen by chance. Rising global temperatures, increasingly dry vegetation, and prolonged droughts in California created the perfect conditions for fires of this magnitude. Experts had already warned that events like this are becoming more frequent and intense due to climate change. Studies show that since the 1970s, the area consumed by wildfires has doubled, a direct consequence of human impact on the environment. So, what can we do to change this trajectory? Innovative technologies are emerging as a beacon of hope. Drones equipped with thermal cameras are being used to monitor hard-to-reach areas, helping identify hotspots before they spread. Artificial intelligence systems, like those developed by researchers at Stanford University, analyze climate and vegetation patterns to predict where the next fires might ignite. These tools are promising, but they can't replace the need for global action to combat climate change. The damage from this tragedy extends far beyond material losses. The Santa Ana winds, notorious for their intensity, acted as true catalysts, spreading the flames at terrifying speeds. On top of that, the air became nearly unbreathable, causing public health emergencies throughout the city. For families who lost their homes, the challenge is to start from scratch in a landscape of uncertainty. Small businesses like cafes and inns face the risk of never reopening, while tourism, one of the region's key industries, has already been hit hard by the devastation. The financial impact is estimated to exceed $200 billion, making this one of the costliest disasters in U.S. history. Despite everything, the community's solidarity brought a glimmer of hope to Los Angeles's darkest hour. Neighbors banded together to help each other escape the flames, while strangers offered shelter and emotional support. Celebrities like Prince Harry and Meghan Markle visited the affected areas, offering words of comfort and encouraging donations. One of the most striking moments was when a neighbor risked his life, driving through a tunnel of fire to save a family that had no way out. These acts of bravery remind us that even in the worst times, people are capable of extraordinary feats. But what can we learn from this tragedy? Beyond rebuilding what was lost, it's crucial to rethink how we live and prepare for the future. Investing in fire-resistant infrastructure, educating the public on risks, and most importantly, taking concrete action against climate change are essential steps to prevent disasters like this from becoming even more frequent. As the city tries to rise from the ashes, stories like Farad's, an architect whose home withstood the fire, show us that it's possible to turn pain into action. He is now working on sustainable reconstruction projects, helping his community prepare for the future. What happened in Los Angeles is a wake-up call, not just for California, but for the entire world. The time to act is now, before disasters like this become a regular part of our lives. And now we want to hear from you. What do you think of these stories? What do you believe we can do together to prevent tragedies like this? Leave your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Let's spread this message and show the world that there's still hope, if we're willing to act.